Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and I'm here with a friend today, Daniel.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the top 10 best films that we watched during 2019. And this is going to be a little bit different because we don't have any single film which is like the same, because on our top 10 worst films that we've seen during 2019, we had some similar ones, because often you tend to watch really bad films with your friends because you can basically laugh at them at some point. When you watch like good films, you can watch that with like anyone. So I think we're gonna begin right away. At number 10 for me is a film called The Hidden from 1987. Horror, sci-fi, thriller type of film. It's very hard to describe. It's sort of like all the genres combined. And maybe that's the reason why I liked it so much. It felt like it has everything going for it. Really good acting and really good pacing. It's never boring or anything. A very interesting storyline. It's basically about these two cops. Not a cop. I think there's one cop and one other guy who is sort of like a detective. And they are gonna like team up to wipe out this alien type of thing. It's sort of like an alien that goes from body to body, so it's sort of like inspired by The Thing, I believe, in a way. But it's more with like an action type of storyline, except for the horror part.
Aliens and The Thing combined?
Yeah, sort of. A really good film in my opinion. So and let's see here, what's his name? The guy who's also in Blue Velvet, Kyle MacLachlan. Yeah, he's one of the main characters in this film. So this really good film, The Hidden, at number 10 for me.
For my number 10, I've chosen Avengers Endgame. I actually really enjoyed it. Like, the movie is good standalone. However, I believe it is a extremely good sequel. That's the main good thing with it.
Would you say it ties up all the loose ends?
Exactly, all of the 13 or something previous. It is an excellent
excellent payoff.
End.
Yeah.
So I actually believe it's one of the best sequels of all time.
Would you say
I've seen.
Would you say it's one of the best like superhero films as well? Or is that more like questionable?
Maybe a bit more questionable. The sequel is the keyword. Excellent sequel. Standalone, maybe not that good. However, if you've seen all of the previous movie, then it's an excellent movie, and you have to see it. It might even be worth to see all the 30 movies.
All the other ones, yeah. The reason
just to see that one.
Yeah, the reason why I haven't watched that is because I'm sort of like, after like The Dark Knight Rises came out, which was that 2012 or something?
Yes.
Yeah. After that film, I was like sort of tired of superhero movies in general, because they were like spitting out like 10 superhero films for each year.
Yeah,
or at least it felt like that.
Similar to each other.
Yeah, so I'm sort of like, when they talk about hype and mainstream in general, I'm sort of like, oh, you need to see this film. That makes me not want to see the film just because I don't want to be disappointed. So I often like wait a couple of years or maybe 1 year when the hype has gone down. So
also, like with Endgame, it is more of a drama film in a way. It's long also, like 3 hours.
So you could say that the characters are really good as well.
Exactly. A bit more character focused.
More
dumb action.
Yeah, more characters and good storyline over special effects.
Yes, and also tie up loose ends and all of that. So a very good movie, I believe.
Yeah, probably gonna see if I can watch any of the other ones before I watch that.
You definitely need to watch Infinite War, because Endgame is like a direct sequel to Infinite War, in addition to sequel all of the other previous movies.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing, but we just watch everyone in chronological order.
Yeah.
And it's good.
At my number 9 is District 9. No pun intended. Once again, a really good sci-fi film. This is probably one of the best sci-fi films I've seen in a long time. And I believe Peter Jackson was involved in one way.
Producer.
Producer. Yeah, that's really.
I believe it's Neil Blomkamp, the director.
Yeah,
his first movie. Relatively low budget, I believe.
Yeah, it's and it played in. The gross for this film was $115 million. So that's good. I don't really know what else to say about this film, because I think this is a film which most people have already seen at this point.
Yes, I actually believe I saw it in 2010.
Oh, so this just 1 year after the.
It's like a millennium. My
Yeah.
father borrowed it.
From the.
Maybe it's called.
Yeah,
From the
borrowed
library.
from the library. Yeah.
And I watched it. Maybe I was a bit too young, maybe. But still, it's a great movie.
Yeah. And your number 9 is.
My number 9 is The Irishman.
A fairly recent film.
Yes, I watched it in December, I believe.
Oh, and that was in the cinema, right?
Nah, Netflix.
Oh,
The
Netflix.
movie was on cinema and Netflix at the
That's
same time. That's great.
That's very strange.
Very strange. So I watched it for free, kinda. I need
That's
to pay for Netflix though.
yeah. That's really weird.
And it's a very long movie. 3.5 hours. Whoa.
Isn't that directed by Scorsese?
Exactly, Martin Scorsese.
I think he's known for directing pretty long films in general, because I think
Yes.
he did another film before, which I unfortunately haven't seen yet. But there's a film called Casino, and I think that's also over like 3 hours long.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Martin Scorsese are famous for directing a lot of mafia movies.
Yeah, mafia
like
films,
Goodfellas. And
which I still haven't seen.
excellent movie.
Yeah.
Irishman is very, very similar to Goodfellas.
Would you say it's better or worse than?
Not as good, but still very good.
Still very good, yeah. And let's see here. My number. Now we're at number 8, right? My number 8 is a film which I watched on TV. I was actually thinking of picking this movie up on DVD, but the price never seems to go down for some reason. I'm like, no. So I caught it on TV one day and watched it. And the film is called Lucky from 2017. And this was the very last film that Harry Dean Stanton appeared in. So it's sort of like his sort of farewell to the world in a way. It felt like he knew he was going to die. So the film gets it gets more emotional than your ordinary movie, just because you knew that the actor pretty much knew that I don't have that much time left on this planet. So it's sort of like his journey, like he's sort of like an atheist in this film. So he walks around like just like normal conversations with people. That sounds really boring and really weird, but it's just the dialogue is very well written, and the characters are really convincing as well. And Harry Dean Stanton is amazing in this film. So it's a really good farewell type of film for his part.
So David Lynch have an cameo?
Yeah, he has a small little cameo, very like small cameo. He has some, I think he has 2 or 3 lines, which isn't that very many lines to begin with, but it's funny to see him. I didn't even recognize him when I saw that at the first time, so I was like, wait a minute, David Lynch? I saw in like the end credits roll, so So I had to look it up on IMDb afterwards, and I was shocked when I saw it was David Lynch.
My number 8 is Ran.
Oh yeah,
1985. Akira Kurosawa.
Akira Kurosawa, yeah, that's the very first Akira Kurosawa film I've seen.
Same here. We saw it together, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, we saw it together, and that's another film which is really long. Isn't that also like
2 hour 42 minutes?
42 minutes. This film is really depressing because it's about these, like, I think it's 3 or 4 brothers. Is it 3 brothers?
3 brothers. Yeah,
3 brothers, yeah. And
they are the son of a feudal lord in Japan, I believe.
Yeah, and he's basically gonna, like, I think they're supposed to have each and single one like a castle. So everyone should have their own castle. But for some reason there's like an argument.
Civil war.
Yeah, there's just an argument in the beginning, and it gets really, really like serious, like you said, like a big war, because these people, they can't make up their minds. And all the friendships and everything, it's just gone. It's just a very dark and bleak film in general, like very depressing. So I don't really want to spoil anything if people haven't seen it, but I think most people that like Kurosawa films have probably already seen this. But I think this is one of the very last films he directed as well, wasn't it?
I believe that, yes.
Yeah, I really like the guy who plays the Lord, or like the...
Yes, the
chef?
father.
The father, not the chef, the father.
The jester was kind of fun as well.
Yeah, he was very funny. He sort of brought joy while everything else was so depressing. He tried his best to be funny, even though there was like no hope for anyone in the very end. So yeah, really good film. I agree with that. And at my number 7, right?
Number 7?
Yeah, is a film called This Is England, which I actually got sent to me from one of my friends in the UK. This is also a very depressing film, because I think it portrays the not the younglings, but the teenagers in the early 80s in the UK. And some parts of the UK at that point were really like poor, and there was like, yeah, they were going through crisis and everything. And you basically follow this youngster who he doesn't really have anyone to go to, and he sort of hang out with this gang sort of way. I mean, it's sort of a gang, and he doesn't realize what type of gang it is. And without knowing it, he finds out that some of them are involved with Nazis, like new Nazi thoughts, so to say. So he doesn't realize that he's slowly like turning into one of those people, and people are like trying to warn him, but he doesn't feel like he's part of anything else. So that's the only way he can go to. So yeah, very also again really depressing, and really like it felt like a punch in the gut after you watched it. But yeah, really good film in general. So yeah, this is England at number 7.
My number 7 is Pie.
Oh
from
yeah,
98.
pie. Not pie as in pie that you eat, but pie as in the number.
Pea Pie?
Pea pie? I'm not sure. Pea pie, yeah.
Great movie. Very strange though.
Yeah, and we watched it together, and I know for sure that you liked it more than me. I found it to be more frustrating, but then again, I think if this is a film which I think I need to rewatch to fully appreciate again, because sometimes that tends to be the case when you watch some films that you don't understand. Like you need to watch it like one more time to fully
I really like
appreciate
the visuals.
Yeah, the visuals are really good, and I think everything was in black and white as well.
Black and white.
Yeah. And there's a very famous scene with like him with a screwdriver or something.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was towards the end or if it was in the middle.
Towards the end.
Yeah,
Very unsettling atmosphere in the movie.
Yeah, I really like that as well. Very creepy atmosphere, and good and creepy atmosphere, if that makes sense. So
I believe it's considered a horror movie on IMDb.
Yeah, it's credited as a horror film, which I didn't think it was credited as a horror film at first when I was gonna look it up, but yeah, it is. So I can sort of see why.
I mean, it's creepier than Giant Leeches, example.
Oh yeah, but Giant Leeches is a terrible
bad comparison.
Yeah, but once again, a film I need to rewatch. But I can see why you like it.
I believe it's had a very low budget also. $60,000 in '98.
Yeah, and I think that's the wasn't that Darren Aronofsky who directed?
Exactly, first movie.
First movie. So yeah, it's a good start for him. Now we're at number 6, right?
Yes.
Number 6 this is sort of a superhero film, but I've always liked this character because it feels like he could be anyone. And the film is Punisher Warzone. I've seen the other 2 Punisher films before. There was one in the 80s with Dolph Lundgren, which was all right. I mean, not the best, not the worst, but still okay. Then there were one with John Travolta and Thomas Jane in it, which came out in 2004, which I thought was...
John Travolta?
Yeah.
As the Punisher?
No, as the bad guy.
Oh,
I believe
what?
I believe he was a bad guy in that. But yeah, I did not care that much for that one either. But this one, Punisher Warzone, if there's one Punisher film you should see, it is Punisher Warzone. It's really great action in it, and the pacing is really good. And it's pretty damn violent, which made me like it even more. And
it's still R-rated though?
Yeah, I think it's R-rated, yeah. And once again, like I said before, the reason why I like Punisher, the character, so much is because, I mean, he's a Marvel character, I believe. But the reason why I like him so much is because he doesn't really have any superpowers. It's just that he's really strong, and he has these type of weapons, and he's like very like fast and everything. So he's like an athlete sort of way, which I really like. So that's the reason why I like Punisher that much, because he feels like a real human that could exist somewhere. So yeah, Punisher Warzone at number 6.
My number 6 is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind
with Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. It's a drama movie.
That's
a bit mind-bending.
It feels very weird to hear like Jim Carrey and drama in the same sentence. Yeah. But I know for sure he has been in some films.
Truman Show.
Yeah,
kind of similar in a way.
I really like Truman Show.
Great movie,
That's
excellent
really
movie.
good. So you think if I like Truman Show, I would like Eternal Spotless. Eternal.
Yes.
What's it called?
Eternal
Sunshine
Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
of a Special.
It's kind of like Truman Show with more mind-bending craziness and sci-fi.
Okay.
They're really enjoyable. I like this.
There's also another film which is called like Number 23, which he appeared in, which is also sort of like a drama, mystery, thriller type of film.
Ooh.
And that's pretty good as well. But it feels very unusual to see Jim Carrey in another type of role. So yeah, that was your number 6.
Number 6.
Yeah. So my number 5 is a Hitchcock film called Shadow of a Doubt from 1943. Once again, this is a really like tense and good thriller. Sorry. Like most of Alfred Hitchcock's films, he really knows how to capture really good atmosphere, and the acting in his films are always top notch. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this film, to be honest, other than I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my number 5, Shadow of Doubt.
My number 5 is A Clockwork Orange from 71, Stanley Kubrick.
Classic.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's a very good
Very
film.
strange and odd movie. It's very unsettling in a good way.
Yeah, and there's some scenes which is supposed to be creepy but feels like a little bit funny because of how bizarre they are.
Exactly.
There's a scene where they not singing in the rain, but singing in the rape, which is very controversial for its time. I know for sure that's...
Maybe a little bit tame nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays it's very tame by today's standards, but I believe that film was banned in the UK for like...
Ooh.
I don't know how long, but I think it was banned up until like 2000, like early 2000s. So that was very controversial when it came out. But yeah,
great music, great acting. Excellent movie. Very strange, but still fascinating.
Yeah, really great classic film. My number 4 is another Hitchcock film called North by Northwest, which is very well known. I think it's probably one of his most well-known films, except for like maybe Psycho or The Birds. Once again, really good mystery type of film. So if you're into those mystery thrillers, you know for certain that Hitchcock will never disappoint. So yeah, it has Cary Grant in it, who's always really good in his films. Yeah, North by Northwest at number 4 from 1959.
My number 4 is Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky from 79.
Very hard to explain that film for anyone else who hasn't seen it. It's sort of a film. It feels like that's a film you really need to experience. It's like something you just take in and then just breathe out. It's just...
You can't even explain it, because nothing really happens in the movie. 3 guys go into a forbidden zone for nearly 3 hours. Nothing really happens. That's the weird part.
Yeah,
but it's still great.
Yeah, that's still great. I actually joked about that with you when I said like an example. Like Andrei Tarkovsky could make like... He could film like a glass of milk for 1 hour and I would still be interested in watching it. He has these really weird camera angles and really weird...
Great music also.
Yeah, really good music. The music is phenomenal. I would say that's one of the major parts which makes me really like that film in general. That the music is so creepy, unsettling, but still very beautiful in a way.
Also, when they go into that big room with the big sand heaps.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
It's really weird, but it's
fascinating. Yeah, draws you in.
Yeah, it draws you into the whole like. It feels like you're in this room as well when you watch that, which is really. Then you know that the director has succeeded in what he wanted to do. But yeah, that's the number 4. Yeah. Number 3 is a film which is sort of like an homage to the 80s films in general, because this came out in 2018 and the film is called Summer of '84. And I know for certain that's a film that when it came out, people were like, oh, this is great, this is one of the best movies ever. Not best movies ever, but like really good. And always when that's the case, I wait at least 1 year before to watch it, just to, like I said before, I don't want to get hyped up or anything. But this was really good. It feels like you were a part of this whole gang, because there's like this gang who, not this, I think there's one of the kids in this gang who suspects his neighbor to be a serial killer, local serial killer. and no one really believes him because he's like a cop and everything. So they were like, oh, he can't be a serial killer. And this is, I would say, I mean, it's categorized as horror, but I would say it's more of a mystery thriller type of film than a straightforward horror film, even though it has some horror elements in it. But I think the reason why I liked it so much is because it felt like it was sort of like it could have been made in the 80s.
When was it made?
2018.
Oh,
so it's sort of like an homage to the older 80s films in general. So yeah, really entertaining film. So yeah, Summer of '84 at number 3 for me.
My number 3 is Donnie Darko from 2001. Also a very strange movie.
And also pretty damn depressing, if I remember
Very
correctly.
depressing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a, what is it called? Teen movie?
Teen angst type of film.
Type movie together with a mind-bending sci-fi movie mixed together. Very strange.
Yeah.
Got some very strange scenes and a creepy bunny.
Yeah, the bunny is really creepy.
Awesomely creepy.
Did you watch?
Great movies.
Did you watch the theatrical cut or the extended cut?
I believe the theatrical cut. The
Yeah,
regular.
Yeah, the regular one. Yeah, I've also seen. I've not seen the extended cut.
I've heard it's bad.
Yeah, maybe they show way too much in it. I
believe that they explain more of the story, which kind of destroys the appeal a bit.
Yeah, destroys the mystery and destroys the interesting parts in it probably. So yeah, that was your number 3. Right? Number 2 for me is a film which I had no idea what was going to be about, but it's exactly what it says in the title. Hobo with a Shotgun with Rutger Hauer, rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace. This film is so hilarious and funny and depressing. I mean, it's everything, and that's the reason why I like it so much. But it's very gory and violent as well, which is probably the reason why I liked it really much as well. And the gore and blood effects are really entertaining and good. And I think it's kind of low budget as well, and which makes it even more entertaining.
Is it similar to Falling Down? I believe it's called.
Yeah, I mean, in Falling Down, he's sort of like a businessman, isn't he?
Yes.
Just think like
a grandpa,
an older grandpa, a hobo grandpa, being like really like angry towards the system and everything in this town, because this town is basically like corrupt in this film, and
it's all of the dealers.
It's like drug dealers, and they're having their deals with the local police, and no one can be really trusted in the town. And it's basically up to this hobo to clean the streets from the scum, which is really entertaining to see. So
time to take out the trash.
Yeah, so that's
grandpa
really
style.
Yeah, so yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun, entertaining as hell film. So if you want to have a really good popcorn flick, watch Hobo with a Shotgun on a Friday evening.
My number 2 is Mulholland Drive, 2001.
Also
David Lynch.
David Lynch, yeah. We talked about him before.
Very, very weird movie, but excellent. It's a bit similar to Stalker, in a way that you're not supposed to understand Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
You experience it.
But it still has some not loose ends, but it still has some parts that you could like think afterwards, because there's like maybe if it's one thing happening in the first 20 minutes, they sort of reference that in like after like 40 minutes or something again.
Yes.
So that it feels like his films can be like examined for like hours before you even like try to understand what's about, and even though you examine it for like 3 or 4 hours, you're still not going to understand the movie.
It also seems like he focuses more on like to evoke emotions in the viewer.
Yeah.
Like the one scene where that guy touches Naomi Watts in a very creepy way.
Oh yeah.
Extremely creepy. It's so well made. You really like feel disgusted.
Yeah, you feel like you want to take a shower after some of those scenes.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like, how did he manage to do that? Like similar scenes in other movies just feels lame.
Yeah.
But this here just feels disgusting.
Yeah, I agree about that.
He's a master in evoking emotions in the viewer, even though you're not sure what's happening.
So that was your number 2.
Number 2.
And my number 1 is a film which I saw at the cinemas. I think this was when did this come out? I think it was November or October. I'm not too sure, but I think it was November now when I think of it. The movie is Joker, which I'm not gonna say anything about because it feels like everyone has been talking about this film because it's like everywhere. So yeah, watch it for yourself and experience it, because yeah, I think it's a really good film, and you really sympathize with the bad guy really in this film. So which is really weird, but yeah, really good film. Joker at number 1. Not gonna say anything else because I think most people already heard about this film.
My number 1 is Brazil from 1985, directed by Terry Gilliam.
You have more mindfuck films in your list than I
like
have.
these movies. I love them.
Yeah.
So they're fun. And this movie is very, very strange. Like, you know, I believe we were talking about this before, when a movie like tries to throw us in as many ideas as possible and it doesn't work. In Brazil, it works.
It works. Oh yeah.
There's
so
so many strange ideas thrown in, like the genre. It kind of like a comedic, post-apocalyptic, satirical, sci-fi comedy, drama,
action?
Romance. Action maybe.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
So you would say that that's a film that has everything and everything works.
Yes, more or less. Not the perfect movies. There are some parts I don't like. Like there are some very long dream sequences, but a bit too long. And also the visuals are gorgeous. Very, very strange retro futuristic fantasy setting. Very strange machines. Very weird computers, which looks more like typewriters with magnifying glasses.
Would you say that film is too long, or runs for too long?
Maybe slightly too long, but it's still so good that doesn't really matter.
It doesn't feel like it is 2 hours long. It just feels like it's maybe like 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Yes, it's kind of like a. Have you heard about the movie, the novel 1984?
1984, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Brazil is kind of like a parody, like 1984 on drugs, like a weird parody of it, kind of.
1984, I believe they also made a film about that.
Yes, in 84, I believe the movie was released.
Yeah, but I haven't seen that film. I have seen Brazil, but I haven't seen 1984. But yeah, I think that's all the films we talked about, because now we always talk for 27 minutes.
Ooh, that's long.
Well, yeah, hope everyone enjoyed and didn't get bored. And hope to see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.